anticipation of this big one we have coming up. We've got a sensational matchup for you. Fans have been filing in and getting ready for this game, as we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Arkansas Razorbacks, taking on a team from the Big Ten, the Michigan State Spartans. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. He'll bring it out. It's Anthony. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. This crowd bringing an ear-splitting welcome to their visitors. Leaves it with the back. Get some work done there. Pick up a 4 to the 22.
You know, it's so important for offenses to want to keep third downs manageable. The way you do that is by having success like that, running the football on first down.
This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. Right down the middle. And it's picked off. Smashes him with the stiff arm. Not much of a chance on the return, but they'll have the ball at the 33.
Not the start this kid was looking for. Very first pass of the day gets picked off. This is a defense that's got a lot of ball hawks in the back end. He's got to be real careful with his eyes, not telegraph throws like he did right there. He's going to have to settle in.
They think they can create space here with a run to the right. He works his way down to the 30-yard line before he stopped a gain of 3.
And those physical runs take a toll. It might not be a big gain now, but down the road, third, fourth quarter, late in the ball games, they tend to turn into bigger runs.
Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. Wide open on the move. He has it on the jet sweep.
And that's just a great job by the defense shutting down that jet sweep. You see the team speed they have on defense. They are willing and ready and able to go sideline to sideline with anybody in the country.
Let's go. 3rd and long from the 30-yard line, in this defense hoping to knock them out of field goal range. Linebackers shuffling around, trying to keep the quarterback from getting a read. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Caught near the sticks. It's Belly. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep them from getting the first down. These routes have some reads and adaptability built in, and the big fella found that cushion and made the play.
Man, it's so awesome how much offenses have evolved. They know exactly what they're getting, where to sit down, quarterback, tight end, on the same page, gets the first down.
Power football with the run. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
How about the defender being a heat-seeking missile? He was on radar lock. He found the football and flew down with some bad intentions.
Lost 1 on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Wide receiver shows motion. The toss to the right. They'll put the brakes on him at the 21, give him a yard. Just outside the red zone at the 21, but it's 3rd and long. Looking for a man, it's Child. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker.
You got to love that. On defense, one of the most critical statistics out there is how do you play on 3rd down? How do you prevent the opponent from keeping drives alive? Right there, tackling the catch. You gave up the completion. What do? You set up 4th and long. You're going to get the ball back. Go get some water and celebrate.
After that last field goal drive, they're set to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. It's Johnson. Makes a move. Just a tremendous return. Great run, great speed and vision to really set up this offense. He almost got totally loose on that. And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. Boy, they hope this next drive is more productive after throwing a pick last time, Jesse.
Yeah, and the coaches did a good job on the sideline there, just talking to the young quarterback and making sure he's able to turn the page, calm him down, to go out and refocus this drive.
Yeah, and some people do that better than others, but you got to show some trust in him. Maybe get the ground game going, help around him a little bit with the system.
Dialing up a 2nd down pass play. He'll try to do it himself. Good little pickup there as he saw some daylight and got what he could.
Well, great job there by the defense because they weren't able to get him sacked right away, but you saw the coverage in the back end. Nor the quarterback to throw the football. Didn't get the sack, obviously. You don't get the negative play, but you also don't give up a big one. You're feeling pretty good about where you are right now in this drive.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Grabbed over the middle. It's Armstrong. And he's tripped up, but not before picking up the first down.
Well, we know this guy is special, and because of that, his quarterback is looking to him on critical down and distances. There on that 3rd down, there was no question. It wouldn't have mattered if he was single covered, double covered, man, zone. That's where he was going with it. And the big-time playmaker outside picks up the first.
This defense is heating up. They got an interception in the last possession. You can tell breaking on the football really, really well. Seeing where the quarterback's throwing it, going to try to get it. Got another hand on it. Almost had another interception.
Bulls his way forward.
And that quarterback can go. Just another guy in another system all across college football. All quarterbacks nowadays, they got so much speed, it's ridiculous.
Man, I'm telling you, that has to be exhausting for the defensive lineman trying to chase down guys like that.
It's silly because even when it's a design play and it's a design run like here, fine. But then it's scramble plays and then it's passing plays. He's always a runner. Just exhausting.
How aggressive might this play call be on 3rd and short from the 46? Just going to keep it after the snap. They've got it inside the 40 at the 39 as they pick up the first down.
Well, with the weapons this offense has, you knew it was just a matter of time in the run game before someone was going to break a long one. They've just been running into a wall. They just couldn't seem to find their creases and get enough movement up.
Unleashes one deep. And he got a hand on it to knock it down in the end zone.
Well, the defender got his hand on that one, tipped it up in the air. Offense, man, they're lucky that one wasn't big.
Let's see if they go back to the air on 2nd down. Looking for a crease. It's Jackson. Using that running game to bludgeon forward. He's got 4 down to the 35. 8th play of the drive coming. It'll be a 3rd and 6. Quarterback changing the plays at the line. Looking to pass. It's Green. They're bringing heat. Looking to buy time. The quarterback scrambled around, but the defense able to scramble him and turn it into a sack.
They didn't have to blitz. They brought the dime package, more speed on the field so we can cover the back end, and then let the D-line do what great D-line do.
Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. How about this? It's out of bounds inside the 10, and they're going to mark it right around the 5-yard line. What a great job there. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. They kicked a field goal on the last drive, Jesse. They've got the lead. Don't make a dumb mistake, but maintain your aggressive play calling.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's the play caller right now just taking a look at that script he's got in front of him and finding out where are my playmakers, who can we take advantage of on the...
Oh, picked off. And he's going to take it all the way back. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
And linebackers are so athletic nowadays in college football. They can play man on running backs and tight ends and all over the field. And how about the linebacker making the athletic interception and then showing you he could be a running back, taking it all the way back to the house for a touchdown.
And right down the middle. They'll kick it off and send that defense right back out there to try to score again after the pick six. The returner will field it and try to do some business. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. Give to the running back. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Great job by the defense. Everybody firing off the ball, hitting their guys, holding their gaps, running to the football, nowhere to go.
Dropping back, it's Child. They're setting up the screen. And they knocked him down, but he got past the line to gain. The Spartans very efficient with this passing game.
You like that, Reese? You like that? I think so. This is an offense that, listen, when you've got a guy back there that can be efficient. Make no mistake, they're going to run the football, but when you get that Kirk Cousins guys, you start to really like the offense.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Arkansas 7, Michigan State 3.
First down to start the drive after the break. Looking to move it through the air. Caught in the backfield, it's Carter. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Really good defense. You know, you're trying to stay as close as you can to all these targets, and most importantly, those open field tackles and getting them on the ground as soon as they catch it. That's a major deal for defenses, and that was a good example there of it.
On second down, looking to throw. Fires to the big fella.
Well, the quarterback dropped back, read the coverage, and realized there was nobody even close to his tight end over on the outside of the field, so simple pitch and catch, and that's an easy first down.
A third and long coming up here. Back to throw, it's Child. Feeling some heat. And the defense gets to the quarterback.
And a big defensive tackle getting off the rock. Nice job seeing play action, understanding his pass, beats the guard, gets to the quarterback, and gets the QB on the ground.
Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Looking for a block, it's Johnson. Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line.
It's over. Let it go. Get back to what you were doing that built this lead.
Yeah, and the defense, obviously, they won a few downs that last drive, so you got to put them on their heels here. Maybe mix up a few personnel groupings, try to show them some pictures they haven't seen.
8-yard pickup on first down leaves them with second and short. Off the RPO, complete. At the 40, there he goes. Flying down the left side. Touchdown, Arkansas. And once he got away from the D, they had no shot at catching him.
When you have so many playmakers on offense like they do, they can score quickly. You just saw it right there.
And the extra point is good, and they have an 11-point lead. This offense prides itself on going after you, and they did with that long touchdown pass to finish off a two-play drive. And he passes on the touchback. Here he comes. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Spartans have it back on offense, hoping to play some good ball. They've been pretty much stifled on offense so far, David, only able to muster 3 points in their previous 3 drives.
And you got to find a way to open this up and create some explosive plays. Like their passing game is obviously the easiest way. Jesse, put more speed on the field. Find those guys down the field.
And you know they're frustrated, too, because they felt like there were some matchups they could take advantage of to get some points on the board early. And this one, they just haven't been able to connect on those opportunities. But I like David's idea. Maybe move some guys around and see if you can create some better one-on-one matchups.
Getting some heat. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes as an offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Ball in the air, intercepted. Trying to take it back. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
I tell you what, it puts you in a tough position when you're backed up inside your own 20 trying to come out. But when you're a defense and you can force a turnover and you already set your offense up in scoring position, they are going to be extremely happy, and that offensive coordinator is going to look extremely smart.
An attitude run as he's dragged down after a pickup of 6 down to the 14.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting where it was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
To the air. It's Green. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be 3rd down.
This quarterback really is going to have to be aware in this game of trying to find lanes to throw into when he's throwing over the middle of the field, because this D-line does a great job getting their hands in the air.
Touch pass on the run. He couldn't find anywhere to go, and now it's 4th down.
And that's a gut punch, especially if you're the offensive coordinator, because that was sort of a foreign look, the pre-snap motion, a timing play, trying to get the receiver the football quickly. You're expecting to outflank the defense, but give the defense a ton of credit. They made the bigger play, and now they've set you up in the 4th down.
That is no good. After the miss, the lead still at 11. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. After throwing the pick on the last drive, need to take care of the ball this time, Jesse.
We're going to find out a lot about this quarterback right here, too. How does he fight through adversity after that last drive?
Yeah, clear the mechanism, move on. That's a part of it, right? If you're going to be a great player, you got to learn how to handle these mistakes and move on.
What can they pull out of the playbook here on 2nd and long from the 17? He's looking to throw. Going to try to pop one on the screen. and they're able to make the tackle.
You know, sometimes when you're throwing against zone coverage, you need time for the routes to develop. So nice job by the quarterback there, being patient, allowing his receivers to work themselves open.
Back to pass, it's Child. And they'll miss the connection here on third down.
Defense did a great job. 3rd and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel on the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
The Spartans line up to punt it away. That last howitzer was nice. How about another one just like it? Looking for a block. It's Johnson. And the coverage team gets the returner on the ground. And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. We talk about settling for points, but sometimes when you have to settle for nothing, David, it can be demoralizing.
Yeah, and it can definitely be frustrating. And I think it leads you to say maybe I go for it more. But, Jesse, I think this offense just needs to put another drive together and just finish stronger.
Yeah, and be a little bit less predictable, too, especially as they get closer and closer down to the end zone.
As we reach the 2-minute warning, they'll need to try to get a stop to keep this thing from getting out of hand. They've got it 1st and 10 from the 25. They'll leave it with him. Now after that run, they're in pretty good shape at the 30-yard line.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. Just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for it.
Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Got it in the middle, it's Haas. Tackled, but he has a 1st down. Love the way he didn't just run to a spot. He found the cushion in the zone and got himself open for the 1st down.
Yeah, and you're taught to find that space. You know, don't run right into a zone defender who's sitting there looking at the quarterback and looking at you. So much creativity with routes now and being able to just have subtle moves one way, come back the other way. Nice job by the tight end finding that hole in the zone.
He's got an open man. And it is a chunk play, a huge gain on that one before the defense brings it to an end.
And guys, how many 1st downs is that? Just on this drive alone. I mean, this defense allows 1 or 2 more drives like this, and they're going to be gassed by the 3rd quarter.
Throws toward the end zone. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on.
Perfect timing. Got there right when the ball got there. Didn't get there a little bit early. Saving the touchdown. Nice timing by that defender.
Let's see which way they go after the incompletion. 2nd and 10 from the 39. Strikes first, delivers the punch, and works his way to the 31.
And a nice job by the running back, finding space, getting downhill, making the good run. Great job finishing the pass.
Remember, they missed a field goal on their last drive, but at the very least, they need to get back in field goal range here on 3rd down. They'll try to run for it.
Wow, the running back there showing you his skill set as he's able to rip off that one for a 1st down.
The Razorbacks will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to throw, it's Green. Starting to feel a little pressure. And here comes the heat, and they get home, and they get him at the 21. The offense will have to use its 1st time out of the half.
Well, this is a very well-rounded defensive line. They play this 4-3 scheme. They've got guys up front that keep their gap integrity against the run, but they can also win one-on-one against the pass. And you just saw the speed off the edge by that DN.
Quarterback wants to throw on 2nd down. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away.
You see these windows, they're getting smaller and smaller to throw into. Really nice job by the defense that time, getting a hand in there and knocking that ball away.
Facing 3rd and long from the 21 and hoping not to settle for a field goal. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking down the middle. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
Nice job by the defense. They're mixing up their look. They're 3rd and long in field goal range. They go zone coverage. So everybody on the back end has the eye on the quarterback, and they're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
It's good. He could have hit a string right in the middle of the uprights there. And now the lead is extended a little far. So they get the field goal, now about to kick it away, and you get a stop here, and you go to halftime feeling really good about things. Oh, he's going to take a chance and bring it out. Pulled down at the 18, and the decision to bring it out of the end zone was not a good one. The Spartans have it back on offense, hoping to play some good ball. Now they're backed up here, Jesse. Wonder how aggressive they're willing to be.
I think it's going to come down to how much confidence they have in this quarterback and his decision-making, because you cannot throw an interception at this part of the field with this little time left.
And I think that's conversations you've had with the young fellow on the sidelines, being like, what are you comfortable with right here that we can run? Maybe stay aggressive, but make sure I don't make that mistake.
Back to throw, it's Child. And that is interception number 3 on the day. Takes it the other way. And he will roll into the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks! Look, I know it's only the 2nd quarter, but we're starting to see a pretty significant gap develop between these two teams right now.
No doubt. When your defense is scoring, your offense is scoring, good things happening for your ball club. This defense on point, reading their scouting report, making big plays.
You get that touchdown right before the half, build the momentum, and the last thing you need to do is mess it up by allowing a big kickoff return. On the move from inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. One more snap coming before halftime. Gonna run it. It's Carter. Just plowing ahead. They'll knock him down, and that'll take us to halftime. And that'll do it. Here in the 2nd quarter, halftime has arrived, and we head to the studio. And the Razorbacks will line up to kick off and start the 2nd half. And he's coming out of the end zone. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. When you're facing a deficit like this one to start the 2nd half, you really can't afford to waste a single possession.
Fresh start here in the 2nd half. That's the only way you can look at this if you're on offense. Things did not go your way there in the first.
Open runway ahead. And he's brought down after a huge completion.
How nice is it as a quarterback when you don't have to throw post routes and you get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
Running back searching for a hole. Good pickup on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Listen, that wasn't the greatest run in the world, but it was very successful, and you're making me honor the run. And another thing, every time you run the football, someone gets tackled. There's physicality involved in the game. So I like when offenses commit to the running the football, no matter what the outcome is, because those bodies really do that.
That pass is incomplete, and they're probably fortunate that it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. Guys, this offense is already reeling down multiple possessions. Really need to cash in on this drive. To throw, it's Child. finds his big tight end. They'll move the chains. Good execution on third down. They've got it at the 41.
Well, they pick up the first against zone coverage. The biggest key there is the quarterback understanding that A, it's zone, but B, what kind of zone is it? Is it one high safety? Is it two high safeties? And then you know instinctively where your best throw, where your highest percentage completion is based on what type of zone coverage it's going to be.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Here's the handoff. Running with power. Found a little running room, and they get him stopped after a pickup of 6 to the 32.
This running back just doesn't go down easily. It's just difficult for defenses to get him on the ground. Not overly huge, but if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to continue to find ways to feature him. And just, you know what? Let his talent do the rest.
And that one's incomplete. We're taking a shot there, but couldn't hook up.
Yeah, and 3rd and short, they choose not to run, throw the football, and I think a lot of that has to do with they know they're in field goal range. They can take the 3 points on the board.
With a double-digit deficit here in the second half, they're going to go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Just flying through the air like a superhero to make the grab. Sometimes we don't give enough credit to a receiver knowing exactly where he needs to be on the field, and they pick up the first down there.
Yeah, and you've got to give the receiver credit, obviously knowing where that is, but the defender needs to know where it is too. Where is he trying to get? That ball's going to come out quick. He didn't really understand where the sticks were, and because of that, he gives up the first down. Need to just be a little bit more aware as a defensive guy.
A shot toward the end zone. And he can't quite make the connection as he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity.
Bad news on that play, it's an incompletion. The good news is the quarterback knew if his guy wasn't going to catch it, nobody was with that ball landing out of bounds.
They are controlling the ball. 9th play of the drive. Secondary walks up on the line, showing press coverage. Lets it fly deep downfield. And he was shooting for the end zone there, and they couldn't make the completion. They were really starting to put a drive together, but after a couple of incompletions, now they need a big play on 3rd and 10. He wants to throw it again. Looking to the big tight end. Finds a man in the middle. He stopped just short of the goal line, but they'll have it 1st and 4 from the 1.
You got to be impressed by what you just saw from this offense. They're already in the red zone, right? The coach is telling the quarterback, be smart, don't do anything crazy with the football. We can't turn it over. We're already in field goal range. And
he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Spartan. Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step 1. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step 1 accomplished.
The AT unit on the field. And the extra point pulls them closer. It's 24 to 10. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive. And they capped it off with a 1-yard plunge. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Fielded in the end zone, it's Johnson. I imagine he's going to get an earful on the sideline after bringing it out of the end zone and being knocked down at the 11. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. That last drive was a long one, Jesse. They'd like this time to pay it off with a touchdown instead of a field goal.
No doubt, Reese. They had a lot of good stuff going that last drive. Need to get a tutty up on the board here to extend that lead.
Yeah, I think you definitely want a touchdown, but put another long drive together, get points, multiple possessions in a row, start to let those body blows add up and wear this defense out.
They've got them pinned deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. Looking to throw, it's Green. Got his man on the right. And he's knocked down immediately, but a good pickup on that play.
Well, it's a nice job by the defender there closing the gap with the wide receiver. They're going to complete the hitch pass, but he's able to run right up on him, get him to the ground for a minimal gain.
Third and short, they've got them back up inside the 20, and the D can get the ball back here. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. And they can't make the play on third down.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness on third and short, trying to throw the football, take advantage of the look that they've got. They weren't successful, and now it's fourth and short territory. Who knows what they're going to do?
Fourth down, and the punt team sends it the other way. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Turns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards. How about the O? The Spartans have it back on offense, hoping to play some good ball. There's certainly still a hill to climb, but they've got to make sure these drives... He hurls one deep down the left side. And it's picked off for the fourth time today. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
And that's why as quarterbacks, you cannot telegraph the pass. You cannot stare down your receivers because these defenders, they're watching it. And that defender knew exactly where the QB was going with that football, and that's why he picked it off.
The offense set for a first down play. He'll do it himself. And he's a real nowhere man tackled in this no-game land.
Yeah, and a great job by the defense, holding the line of scrimmage, playing downhill, playing responsibility football, making sure they shut down that option.
Shoots it to the left. Reacted well to the tip, but just couldn't squeeze the football. Instead of the turnover, it'll be third down.
This is going to be a key that we look at this entire game. How can this defense find ways to affect this quarterback and get pressure on him? Because they felt coming into the game, if they could do that, they could affect him and influence this passing game.
Third and 10, still backed up inside their own 20. This drive hasn't really gotten started. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up. The Razorbacks send out the punt unit. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. He's got great speed. Working his way on the return up to the 40-yard line before he stopped. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. Well, let's see if this drive goes better than the last one. They were in and out quickly after the quick pick, David.
Yeah, first play, big mistake, man. Now, let's get this offense in a little bit of a rhythm, maybe before you open it up again, Palmer, or do you trust him right away?
He seems to me like the guy maybe that just needs to kind of get into the flow of the game. So maybe you get the running game going here. Just give him some easy looks to let him get lathered up.
Dropping back, it's Childs. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And the defense at this point understands that the offense is going to have to try to throw the football. All right, they already got a lead, so they're now pinning their ears back and getting after this guy, trying to get him to the ground.
They move the tight end all over. They're going to try to throw for it on third down. Takes his shot. Got his man downfield. And they are pushing the ball down the field. A big pickup on that one, and the tackle is finally made.
And listen, this is where you catch a defense off guard. They're not expecting the fullback to be a big part of the throwing game. How about the big play game, gaining all that yardage? That is not something that was in the scouting report. Nice job by the offense drawing up a play for the big fullback.
The give. Knocked off his feet, but not before he picks up 6 yards down to the 10.
Keep pounding away at this defense and make them play the run. If you can get this many a chunk, they're going to have to commit more guys to the box, more guys to the run. Then you open it up for the passing game.
Looking to pass on second down. Pressure coming. And they got him for the sack.
Sometimes you beat your guy and you get sacked so clean. And sometimes, like on this play, the DBs do a great job covering, make the QB hold the football, and then the rush gets home.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Catch in the middle, it's Carter. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. He just didn't have a chance to get loose and make his way to that first down marker.
I think fans get upset sometimes. Like, run your route past the sticks so we get the first down. But nice job by the defense understanding where the sticks were and forcing the fourth down.
He got it. So they're lining up to kick it off after that last drive. Put a 3-spot on the board, and now the defense will try to shut them down. He'll bring it out. It's Anthony. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out in the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. They'll try it on the ground, running the counter. Coming out, attacking from deep in their own end, and they're out at the 26 with the first down.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. With the score, Arkansas 24, Michigan State 13.
Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Wide receiver now comes in motion. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half.
Timeout, Arkansas.
They'll start the drive here with first down to open this period. Now the quarterback changing the original play call. Looking downfield, it's Green. Slings it. Rams him with the stiff arm. Look at that toughness, just running through everybody. He's loose down the left side. Touchdown, Arkansas. And once he found daylight, it was Katie bar the door, baby.
If I'm a play caller nowadays, man, I want more guys like this. Just versatility. You can see he can catch it out of the backfield like a wide receiver, or he can run it. Nice job catching the football with his hands, using his speed to do the rest and get into the end zone.
And now with the extra point, they're up by 18 here in the fourth. Aggressive play calling on that drive. Just 2 plays, they get the long touchdown pass to pay it off. Kickoff team has the ball teed up, and they're about ready to go. He'll start the return inside his spot. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Settle for the chip shot field goal last time, Jesse. They'd love for this one to pay off bigger.
Yeah, it just comes down to execution, too. Did a nice job out in the field, stalled a little bit once they got down to the goal line, so they just need to be a little bit more crisp here.
Yeah, and listen, I think the first part was the most important part. You got to put the drive together first to get down there. Now, when we get down there, focus on execution and getting 6 points.
Then they'll line up from the 31 on first down. He's going to pass. Fires to the wideout. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away.
And that's just the kind of game it's been for this quarterback in this offense. You got a great game plan all week long. You're watching it throughout practice. You think you're going to have a chance to light up the scoreboard, but they're just not able to hook up. You got to give this defense a ton of credit. They've done a great job in coverage. They've been breaking on passes. They've had their...
And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes.
If I had told you that one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football was going to have less than 200 yards passing in this game, you might not have had that on your bingo card, but that's what's in fact happened. This defense has done an outstanding job getting pressure on him like they did right there getting the sack.
I'm not positive, but that first down marker might be in the next county. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. Grabbed in the middle, it's Belly. And chunk plays are the name of the game, and they get one here before the defense finally makes the stop. And the Spartans are moving quickly down the field. They'll throw it on 1st down. Caught over the middle, it's Carter. He's brought down solid, pick up a little bit short of the 1st down.
This offense has their work cut out for them, man, because the coverage has been so tight. And if you're not throwing to the sideline or you're not getting past the sticks, this defense is going to tackle you inbounds like they just did on that last play and bleed the clock.
The completion short of the sticks, it's 2nd down. To the air, it's Childs. Throws to the wideout. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hip.
Well, the defense really stepped up in this game. They knew they had to slow down this passing attack. They knew they had some matchups they were going to have to win one-on-one. They've been able to do that, and as a result, they haven't allowed 200 passing yards in this game.
They'll snap it from the 48 on 3rd and short. They're going to throw it again. Trying to get to it. And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes.
We've seen throughout the course of the season, defenses have had their hands full with this quarterback. He's simply one of the best in the country. But what can you say about this defense here today? They have gotten after him, registering multiple sacks, and they've never let him get into a rhythm.
The Spartans will punt it away on 4th down.
In punt formation to kick it away.
And the coverage team surrounding the ball. No chance for the return man to get in there on that one. And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
Good news is they didn't lose a ton of yards. The bad news is that's the 3rd sack they've given up now in this game. They have got to do a better job protecting this quarterback.
After getting nothing done on the last one, this is a big play. 2nd and long from the 11. Got a man. It's Sategna. They make the stop right there. Good pickup and still short of the 1st down.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands, get it to your playmaker. A lot of times they'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
Looking to throw, it's Green. It's complete to the left. Just couldn't find any room, and he wound up throwing it in reverse. They lost yardage. And the Razorbacks will call on their punt team. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. He'll bring it back. It's Foster. And the returner could find no daylight. He goes down. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
On 2nd down, looking again to throw. Snags it down the right side. Defense on skates that time. They finally drag him down to the 42.
Well, I'll give this offense some credit because they've got a lot of fight. There is no quit in them, and they're obviously trailing by a big amount in this game. They haven't had a lot of success, but they're still taking shots, and their players are still out there competing.
He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up. They'll line up for a second down play. He's looking to throw. And here's the 5th interception by this quarterback. He would have loved to make the big return there, but he still gives his team the ball at the 37.
This is a beautiful situation for the defense. When you're up by 2+ scores and you're in this situation, you know exactly what is coming. It's going to be a pass. They have to because the clock is their enemy. Great job playing pass, forcing the interception, almost putting the nail in the coffin.
Ooh, I like that option play. I'd keep running that too because it's obvious the defense right now is really keying in on this running back. That was a big point of emphasis for them all week long in practice, and it's opening up holes now for the quarterback to run.
And a really short game before he gets a whole bunch of company from the defense. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. They'll run the ball. The clock is on their side. He showed off the stiff arm, but apparently he needed a couple more. A lot of defenders around to stop him.
And a nice second effort by the back to break a tackle. But how about those defensive backs willing to come up, stick their face in the fan, and make a tackle?
Those are the best run defenses too, right? It's not just D linemen and linebackers getting all the plays, but it's DBs that are willing to not just cover, but tackle backs in the open field.
And you can tell the QB wants to run. It's going to be a big part of the game plan, and the defense really, really understands that. I got to understand, and more importantly, when I get a lick on this cat, I got to take it. Like, not dirty, not cheap shots, but end of the plays, when I can be physical and really make him feel me, I think that'll always bode well in a fourth-quarter game.
And he'd hope to pin him deep. Instead, it will be a touchback. Spartans have it back on offense, hoping to play some good ball. Not a lot to feel great about in this one, Jesse, but I'm sure they'll try to seek out some positives.
Well, this might be an opportunity, too, Reese, to go back when they watch this.
And he throws yet another interception. Does he know which color jerseys they're wearing?
The number one objective for a defense is to make the offense one-dimensional. Well, when they're trailing by this much, late in the game, they're one-dimensional. They have to pass the football. We can bring more speed on the field. You see it. We know you're throwing the football. Nice break on the football. Nice interception. This one's almost over.
And the sudden change situation even more difficult for this defense facing a 1st and goal. And now on 2nd down for this offense. And the quarterback will just drop to a knee. Their work here is virtually done. No need to take any more chances. They'll line up in victory formation. The quarterback takes a snap and takes a knee. A strong, methodical, workmanlike effort from this team. No frills, just get the job done and get the win.
I love when you describe my teams like that. Just consistent, methodical, strong. I don't have to do things special every single week. All I'm supposed to do is get the W, and that's what they did.
And this is why practice is so important, guys. You can tell that this team was locked in way back earlier in the week. They watched the film. They got good looks in practice. They knew what to anticipate. They knew what looks they were going to see. And when those looks presented themselves, boy, oh boy, did they ever take advantage.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.